He appeared suddenly, from nowhere, no royal title, no army, no bealt, just a man, standing before a king. And with one sentence, he shut the heavens. For 3 years, he was feared by kings, hunted by armies, and remembered as one of the most powerful prophets in the Bible. This is the story of Elijah. The kingdom of Israel had fallen into deep spiritual darkness. King Ahab sat on the throne, and beside him was his wife, Jezebel. Together they turned the nation away from God. Altars to false gods were raised. The worship of Baal spread across the land, and fear ruled the hearts of many. Then one day, a prophet stepped forward. Elijah stood before the king and declared, "There will be no dew and no rain, except at my word." Then he turned and disappeared. The heavens closed, the land began to dry, and famine began. God told Elijah to hide, far from the palace, far from danger. He went to the brook Cherith. There he waited in silence, and each day, ravens brought him bread and meat, morning and evening. God was sustaining him in the wilderness. But as the drought continued, even the brook dried, the water disappeared, and once again, God told Elijah to move, this time to a widow in Zarephath. Elijah found a widow gathering sticks. She had only a handful of flour, a little oil, and enough food for one final meal. She believed she and her son would soon die. But Elijah said, "Do not fear. Make me a small cake first, and your flour will not run out, and your oil will not fail." She obeyed, and the miracle began. Day after day, the jar still had flour, the oil still remained, and through the famine, God provided. But then, the widow's son stopped breathing. The widow cried out in grief. Elijah carried the child upstairs, laid him on the bed, and prayed. 3 times he stretched himself over the boy. Then suddenly, the child breathed again. Life returned, and the woman knew the word of God was in Elijah. After 3 years, God told Elijah, "Go and show yourself to Ahab." The famine had become severe. The land was dying, and now the confrontation had come. Elijah challenged the prophets of Baal. 450 prophets, one man against hundreds. He said, "How long will you waver? If the Lord is God, follow him. But if Baal, follow him." Then he proposed a test. 2 altars, 2 sacrifices, no fire. The true God would answer by fire. From morning until evening, the prophets cried out. They shouted, danced, cut themselves, but nothing happened. No voice, no answer, no fire. Then Elijah rebuilt the altar, poured water over everything, again and again, until the trench overflowed. Then he prayed one simple prayer, and suddenly, fire fell from heaven. Consumed the sacrifice, the wood, the stones, even the water, and the people fell face down. The Lord, He is God. Elijah climbed to the top of Carmel. He bowed to the ground and prayed for rain. First, nothing. Then a servant saw a cloud, small as a man's hand. Soon the sky turned black, and after years of drought, rain returned. But when Jezebel heard, she sent a message. "By tomorrow you will be dead." And suddenly, the fearless prophet ran. Elijah fled into the wilderness, sat beneath a broom tree, and prayed to die. I have had enough. But God was not finished. God brought Elijah to a mountain. A mighty wind came, but God was not in the wind. Then an earthquake, but God was not in the earthquake. Then fire, but God was not in the fire. Then a still small voice, and Elijah listened. God told Elijah to appoint a successor, a young man named Elisha. Elijah placed his cloak upon him, and Elisha followed. Years later, Elijah and Elisha walked together. Then suddenly, a chariot of fire appeared, and Elijah was taken into heaven, without dying. And Elisha cried, "My father, my father!" The prophet was gone, but his legacy remained.
Don't forget to leave a comment and subscribe for more videos on mysterious events, dark history, and ancient secrets.